So today in Scratch I am starting my new tutorial shooter game. So I'm just going to quickly show you what it will look like once we have finished. Okay, so it's very simple but very fun. Basically you are a little character and you shoot at enemy zombies, and it's quite fun and quite simple to make. Once one of you touches them, well, you lose a life, and if I die, it switches to this nice game over screen and my hero is basically dead. Okay, that's very, very cool. So I'm going to create a new project, and we will first delete, of course, the scratch cat, and I'm going to paint a new sprite. Okay, I'm going to do the hero first because, well, I like to show you how to program him. So I'm going to make a white fill and no outline, at least me, I want to do that. And I'm going to do something like maybe about a couple of pixels long, so maybe something like this. Yeah, I'm going to center that, and I'm going to do some arms. I'm just going to switch the outline to a nice white color, make it a bit thicker, and that's not thick enough. Let's make the outline white and maybe like very, very thick. Okay, yes. Let's try that. Yes, relatively good. And I am going to draw its hands. You might not see it very well, so I am going to draw a black rectangle behind it. Make it go to the back layer. Okay. And I'm going to just draw a gun. I think a gray gun will do. A simple gray gun. And of course I will turn off the outline. And then I think this is a relatively good gun. Yeah. I'm going to delete the back because now I know my character is good. Okay. So inside of the code, I am going to drag in a when green flag clicked. I'm going to go to the center of the screen, so go to x0 and y0, and I'm going to also make a new variable calledplife, short for player life, and it is going to be for all sprites. And I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to setplife to, let's say, 3. And I'm also going to create a new variable called score, which we will make bigger each time we kill a zombie. So it will also be for all sprites. And I'm going to set score to 0. Okay. And then I'm going to drag in a forever loop. Forever, I am going to set the and I'm going to create a new variable called direction. So for the bullet, this will be used later, you will see. And I'm going to keep this for all sprites, and I'm going to set the direction to direction. So the direction variable will tell me the direction of my character. Okay, and I'm also going to, now I'm going to drag in a if block, and I'm going to drag in if touching, if key up arrow pressed. I'm going to move 10 steps. So move 10 steps forward. And I'm going to drag in a other if, this time saying if touching the edge. Let me find that. If touching edge. Well, we want to make it move backwards because we do not want to be able to just go through the background, or it will make some glitches. So I'm going to move minus 10 steps. Okay, I'm going to right click, duplicate that, and change to if down, and if down arrow key pressed, I want to move minus 10 steps and move 10 steps if I'm touching the edge. And then I'm also going to right click, duplicate that, and I'm going to do if right arrow pressed, I'm going to rotate, so turn 7.5 degrees, and if I am touching the edge, I want to turn in the other direction, so turn 7.5 degrees, but in the other direction, as you can see. I'm going to right click duplicate that and say if left arrow key pressed, I'm going to take these two away and switch them so that it will turn like this here and turn like this here. Okay, so hope that was not too confusing. I'm going to quickly make a black background so that we can actually see our character and test it out. Nice. Okay, so here we have a little character that can move around. He's stopped by the edge. Okay, really cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, pretty happy with that. So now I guess we can also make him shoot some bullets. So I'm going to create a new sprite, and I will first rename my sprite number 1 to Hero, and I'm going to rename this sprite to Bullet, and I think I'm going to make a singular bullet because I like the look of that. So I'm going to make in a nice color, and I'm going to zoom in a lot and make it 4x2 pixels. Something like this, yes. Maybe actually a bit smaller. So like wait, you know what? Let's make it 1.5. Let's say, yes, like this. And I'm going to make sure it is small enough because it has to be able to fit in the gun. So I'm not sure it's the right size since, as you can see, we can't already fit it in the gun. So I'm going to shorten it a bit. Okay, I think this is a good size. Okay, so let's first of all go back to the hero and drag in a when green flag clicked. And I'm going to switch the costume to costume 1, and I'm going to rename my costume 1 to Alive because later we'll make a dead costume. And I'm going to drag in a forever loop, and I'm going to say forever if key space pressed, we are going to create a clone of the bullet. Okay, that's nice. And I'm also going to go into the sound tab because I think we should add a sound. So I'm going to choose a sound and search up, I think it was called Bullet. Nope. Well, actually, I think it was called, let me check. It was inside the effects, and it is called Pew. It's a very nice one, so I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to delete the pop and instead keep the Pew. And I'm going to also say create clone of bullet and play sound, start sound, Pew. And I'm going to wait until not key space pressed. So that you can't just hold the button and make thousands and thousands of clones. Okay, let's try that out. So right now we create a clone of our bullet, but it doesn't actually do anything. I mean, it looks like just one bullet, but it's actually multiple clones. So we actually want it to go to our gun and shoot out, right? So we have to go back to the bullets tab, and I'm going to drag in a when green flag clicked, I'm going to hide the original sprite. And then when I start as a clone, I want to start doing the things. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to show my clone. And he is going to go to hero. Go to my hero. And then he is going to point in direction, but not the direction from the motions tab, the direction from the variables. I'm going to drag that in here so that he points in a direction, not his own direction, but the direction of the hero. You understand? And I'm going to make him automatically move 15 steps so that he goes to the gun. And then he's going to repeat until, and I'm going to drag in a OR operator. I'm going to say repeat until touching edge or the zombie, but we will create the zombie later, so leave a blank space for now. I'm going to move 20 steps, and once you either touch the edge or the zombie, we are just going to delete this clone. Okay, so now we actually shoot, so that's very, very cool. Let's check that out. Yeah, we actually shoot. I'm also going to make it maybe to the back, because as you can see, it overlaps. It's over the gun each time I shoot. So I'm just going to make it go to the back layer. Go to back layer. Okay, now if we play that again, it looks a lot nicer, and it really looks as if we were shooting a real gun. I also like the sound effect. It adds a lot of life to it. Okay, well, I think now it's time to add the zombies. And I am just going to paint a new sprite. And for now, I'm going to make one zombie, and I'll do the others later. So I will just put some simple squares. So something like this this will be the normal zombie, and I am going to make his arms like this, maybe a twisted arm. And make sure, this is very important, that you center the cube and not the whole thing. If you center the whole thing, it will mess up. So center just the cube, and the arms, just put them as accessories. Same thing for the hero. Do not center the whole thing. Center just the circle. This is very important. Okay. Anyway, back in the zombies, I'm just going to call this one normal, the original zombie, normal. And I'm going to make a small cross, just for the fun, on the back of him, this. Okay, and I'm going to paint a new sprite, and this time make it a bit bigger, and make him red, because he will be the strong zombie. So a zombie with more lives than a normal zombie, which is pretty cool. I'm going to make this one like maybe going to make the outline red, of course, and thicker. And I'm going to make it like maybe have a really twisted arm. Okay, like that. Yeah. That looks pretty creepy and pretty cool. So I'm going to call this one strong. It has long arms too to catch you. And I'm going to paint a final sprite, and I'm going to call it fast. Because he will be the fast zombie, very weak but very fast. So I'm going to make him small, like this maybe. And I will make him, I'll make him quite small. And I'm going to maybe make the outline a bit bigger. And I'm going to make his arms quite short. And I'm going to make him kind of twisted. So I'm going to like move around his body in some way, so it looks a bit creepy at the same time, but not too creepy. Something like this. Yeah, that's a bit twisted, but it looks pretty cool. Trust me. And okay, I think this is about enough. Yeah, I'll stop there. And it actually looks pretty cool twisted. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty cool. So I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm going to go into my code. And I'm going to, first of all, drag in when green flag clicked. I'm going to hide. And also, I want him to repeatedly create clones of himself. So I'm going to forever wait, let's say, whatever's good for you. But for me, I think I'll try with 2 seconds. And I'm going to then create a clone of myself. Okay. So now he will be constantly creating clones of himself. That's very nice. I'm also going to, And then I'm going to drag in a when I start as a clone. This is where everything happens, of course. I'm going to make him, first of all, show. then I'm going to drag in a if else, and if I'm going to drag in a equals from the operators, pick random 1 to 4 equals 1. I would like to switch my costume to normal. Yeah. Oh no, actually I would like to go to pick random, another pick random from the operators. Pick random and pick random minus 240 to 240. And I'm going to make a y of 180. I'm going to right click duplicate that, and if pick random equals 2, then I would like to pick random 200 and change the y to minus 180. I'm going to right click duplicate that, and if pick random 1 to 4 equals 3, I'm going to move the pick random to the y. I'm going to set the x to 240 and the y to a pick random minus 180 to 180. I'm going to just then drag in, I'm going to right click duplicate the go to, and I'm going to go to minus 240 for the x. And for the rest, as you can see, it works. It is spawning on the edge. And then of course we want it maybe to have different identities. So maybe instead of being purple, it can be red so that it is strong. So I'm going to drag in a if else, and I'm going to drag in if pick random. I'm going to actually drag in a OR operator, and then at the top I'm going to say if pick random 1 to 3 equals 1. 3 equals 1. I'm going to right click duplicate that and say or pick random 1 to 3 equals 2. Well, I would like to switch the costume to normal because we want the odds to be more on the normal. And I'm also going to create a new variable called zlife, which will be for this sprite only. This is very important, not for all sprites, for this sprite only. Okay, I'm going to set zlife to normal, should have 2 lives. And I'm also going to create another new variable called zspeed. I'm going to say for this sprite only 2. And okay, and I'm going to press that, and I'm going to set z speed to 2. So I'm also going to I'm going to create a new variable here called reward. So that will be the reward we get for killing our zombie for this sprite only 2. And I'm going to set reward to 2. That means we'll get 2 of score each time we kill a normal zombie. Then I'm going to right click duplicate that and say I'm going to take away the OR operator and just keep the if pick random equals 2. And if that happens, we want to switch the costume to strong. We are going to set the z life to 10, the z speed to 1, and the reward to 5. And I'm going to right click duplicate that and say if pick random 1 to 3 equals 3. I want to switch costume to fast. I'm going to set the z life to 1 and the z speed to, let's say, 6, and reward to 1. Okay, and else I'm just going to right click duplicate this and make it just become a normal zombie. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. We already have a pretty cool game, well, if you can call it cool, where we have this player that shoots stuff, and also zombies appear on the edges of the screen. In the next tutorial, I think I'll make them chase you, of course, and some other cool stuff. We'll also make the number counter, and maybe some hearts. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for this part. See you in part 2.